never stop me now. I am God's ascending growth. Limits enlightened, I've been shown. You won't stop me, I am flow.
Y'all, I'm doing something a little different today. So one thing about me is sometimes I can really, it's like my mind speaks before my mouth speaks. It's that, oh, it's a fuzzy wuzzy. So I'm a little bit like brain fogged right now. I'm actually eating, so sometimes when I eat certain foods, it gets me tired, it gets me brain foggy. But the interesting part is that's like technically normal, at least within my DNA. So I got a DNA test like 3 years ago, and it tells you all these really cool details, but it wasn't just like any DNA test. Like obviously it gave me an idea of where I come from. And that's another topic that I would really want to talk about and get into. Like I highly recommend people get a DNA test. Like don't just listen to your parents. Don't just listen to what people say, oh, you're just this. Because growing up, I was told I was white and black. And obviously, I'm a mixture, baby. I'm technicolor. I'm mixed with everything. I'm mixed with Puerto Rican, Caribbean, obviously Puerto Ricans in the Caribbean, African, European, German, Slavic, Italian, Irish, like a little bit, but pretty much I'm mixed with everything. I mean, I even have Japanese, Japanese, and I think it's Korean. So a little bit of mixture of that too, and Indian and Middle Eastern. So it's super, super cool to just be able to get a DNA test because for me, I got a DNA test because of a lot of reasons, but I was able to understand like my body type, my DNA, and what foods are really good for me, you know, what I'm more prone to within my health, and yada, yada, yada. So definitely recommend. But yeah, like I was saying, you know, this video is going to be a little bit different today. I'm obviously sitting in a different area. I'm a little brain foggy, but at the end of the day, I'm still doing it. I'm here. I'm showing up. And the topic today I really wanted to like be more focused on is magic is real. Okay. And for me, I've always believed in magic. Like I've always been drawn to magic, right? But I never truly always understood it, I guess, is the best way I can explain it. It's like I knew life was magical, but I didn't have a certain perspective on it like I do now. You know how growing up you believe in Santa Claus, you believe in the Easter Bunny, you believe in these certain things that are considered magical. Like me, I grew up watching Disney Channel, Disney movies, and that's part of a magical experience, right? I was always big on Hannah Montana, Wizard of Waverly Place. Yet there are certain parts of my life where, you know, I was told magic's not real, magic's evil, magic's this, magic's that. But me now, it's like realizing what truly magic is I'm magic. My soul is magic. My essence is magic, right? It's not just about witchcraft. It's not just about crystals. It's not just about candle. It's not just about candles and you know, altars and that kind of thing, because I definitely am drawn to that stuff too as well. I mean, if you look over here, that's my new little altar that I set up on top. And so I love lighting candles, but I never really understood like the beauty of it, you know, why magic is so real to me. And for me, I believe you have to create your own magic in a way, right? Because when you've been through like something traumatic, or when you've experienced a lot of just low vibrational energy, whether that's sadness, whether that's depression, whether it's just not believing within yourself, believing in the magic of your own self-worth, self-love, but believing in the magic of how you can create your own reality, how magic is truly real as long as you believe in it, right? It's that inner child knowing. From a young age, you believed in Santa Claus, you believed in these certain things. But over time, you lost that because you had to become this adult. You had to step into the real world. You had to become a fucking muggle. And like really just go to, go into this lifestyle that doesn't feel magical, that doesn't feel beautiful, that it doesn't feel like it should be. And for me, I look at that as, being caught up in the matrix, right? When you get older, you get caught up into this system of, okay, now you're a certain age, now you have to act a certain way, now you have to go to college, now you have to have a certain kind of scope within your life to focus on, and that's life, and that's it. You go, you make money, you get paid, and then eventually you die. Well, wrong. Like, life can be that way, and people create that reality for themselves, right? I started to create that reality for myself, but there was also there was this magical spark within myself that was like, nah, I don't like that. I don't like that pathway. I knew from a young age, I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to get a degree. Starting out, I wanted to be famous, okay? I wanted to be the most famous singer. I created a tour. I did all these magical things as a kid, okay? Because I already knew inside that I was going to be super cool, super popular. But it was certain adults that came into my life that dimmed that light, that dimmed that spark, that, wanted to take that magic from me. It's like Voldemort coming back for Harry Potter and be like, bitch. Like, I may have missed you when you were a child, but I'm back to get you again. But he still had faith. He still believed. He was guided in a way by certain people, even though he went through a lot of chaos, right? He still was guided by these certain people in his life, but yet he was able to choose. He was able to, I think, what's his name? Dumbledore. I was like, what's his name? The old white guy, right? Santa Claus. He was the one that told, Harry Potter in one of the series about, we all come into, this life in a sense, and we get to choose whether we want to be evil or be good, right? And that's really what magic is. You can look at magic as evil. You can look at it as just pure beauty and bliss and unicorn shits and all, okay? And that's how I choose to look at magic. That's how I choose to believe that magic, your intentions behind magic, your intentions behind certain spells, certain things that you do within your life, you don't even realize it, whether they're good, whether they're bad. Some people are so unaware of their intentions, right? They're so intertwined within the negative energy that they're living, and they really haven't stepped outside of themselves and really experienced that inner childness, that Disney-like magic, that beauty that's all around us. Sometimes it just takes you to step outside, go for a walk, listen to the birds, go by the ocean, go by the lake, go in the forest, wherever you're able to go, and really just appreciate the beauty all around us. It's like heaven on earth, right? It's appreciating that we are here for a reason, that we are able to create this heaven on earth for ourselves. We have this godlike, goddess-like within ourselves to be able to be like, like, I've created this. I've built a home for myself, right? I cooked myself this meal today. I'm recording this video, I'm creating content. It's like we do this every day without being aware of it. Sometimes we're like zombies. If you haven't checked out any of my other platforms, I'm also on Instagram, TikTok, so I do a lot of different videos. But I'll post TikTok videos. Like I just posted a TikTok video the other day of me being a zombie before I have my coffee. Literally. Sometimes my brain is mush in the morning to where it's like I just need some coffee. I just need an energy drink. I just need some water, whatever it may be. Right now I'm also drinking some lemon water. But sometimes you just need something to feel that magic within inside yourself, to remind yourself that it doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter, you know, what your title is, what you believe in. It's all about how you harness that magic within inside yourself, that soul within inside yourself, okay? You know, it's nurturing that innocence to you, however you want to look at that inner child, that playfulness, whether you have kids or not. I don't have kids, I have a cat, but I still tap into my inner child, okay? I'm also a Leo sun. I have Sagittarius moon. So a lot of those energies, right? It's like astrology. It's tapping into those different energies within yourself that you hold. Or you don't even have to be a Leo, you don't have to be a Sagittarius, right? It's just tapping into those energies, right? Those aspects of life, whether it's going to play at the playground, whether it's going to have some ice cream, you know, whether it's watching a Disney movie, right? That is tapping into that magic, that magical sense of yourself. And it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful because it helps you, you know, bring your energy up, you know, that higher vibration to live, you know, merrily, happily. And don't get me wrong, you know, you have to work on maintaining that. I know for me, there's some days where I'm just like, I'm super tired. I don't have like that inner child essence, and that's okay. But it's maintaining it over time to tap into it whenever you can, you know? It's like having that, like me, I have that serious side. You know, I have that side where it's like, okay, let's get to business. But I try not to take life so serious. I try not to be too serious unless there's like a certain situation. Like for instance, if you're going to like a court hearing or something. I mean, even that, you can make shit work, right? But it's more like trying to lighten the mood, especially if you're having a bad day, especially if you're like around certain energies where you're just like, you know what? I'm not going to let this taint me. I'm not going to let this, you know, manipulate me, control me, right? Because there are energies in this world today, whether they're working through people or not, there's energies in this world that will try and test you, that will try and tempt you, that will try, okay? If you believe in Satan, right? You know, it's the same exact thing, right? Satan is someone who's controlling, manipulating, evil, narcissistic, blah, 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 right? There's so many different terminologies I can use for the Satan if you're like more into the religious aspect. But if you're more into the spiritual aspect, you can look at Satan, you can look at the demons, and we all have this dark and light about us. And if you don't, you know, it's about tapping into that. So for me instance, I know I have a lot of scars. I know I have a lot of trauma. I know I have a lot of chaos that have came from, right? I believe I've experienced hell and back several different times within this lifetime. Been to war, and that's why I consider myself a healer. That's why I consider myself a spiritual gangsta. That's why I consider myself, you know, being friends with my demons. Like I know what I'm tempted. I know what I'm tempted into. I know the things that I've done in my life that weren't so great, that weren't so pretty, that weren't so, you know, acceptable, and such. I was also called the demon. You know, I've had anger issues, stuff like that, right? It's understanding that is a part of the more darker aspect. You know, you look in certain mythology, books and things. I honestly don't necessarily believe they're mythology. I believe everything is, how do I say this? Everything is what it is. Everything has been created in a way to help us understand ourselves better, right? The gods and goddesses within Egyptian mythology, within Greek mythology, within just different books, different movies, different structures, right? You look at world history, you look at, the African history, the slave history, you look at Hitler, and that history, right? There's some darkness and chaos within our world, right? So you can't just like cut that out and be like, oh, it's just sunshine and rainbows, right? You have to have that duality within yourself, right? Within the world, because obviously, you look at the nighttime, right? The stars can't shine without the darkness, baby, okay? And so it's that kind of thing where it's having the garbage truck is going by. But anywho, it's having that duality, it's having that understanding of your demons and your angels, right? Having, and even angels can be a little chaotic whatnot, but they're there for justice, right? You look at, the justice within spirituality, the justice within this world, right? Not everybody gets justice in this world, but in the spiritual world, coming back around, whether you believe in reincarnation or not, there's some kind of justice happening. There's some kind of shift that's happening within this world. We may not know exactly everything that's happening. There's people out there that can predict these things. There's people out there that study this stuff, of course, right? But I do believe that everything happens for a reason. Everything happens because of certain things. Like, we're all connected, right? So it's like somebody doing something evil, somebody doing something very horrible and with the intention of doing it, right? Eventually that's going to come back at them. If you believe in karma, karma's a bitch, right? So karma's going to come back at this person eventually and be like, listen, you did this at this time, at this second, at this hour, blah, 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 blah. Now it's going to come back to you. You may not, you may not physically see that, right? You may not physically see it, but it's going to come back, especially on the spiritual side. And this is where certain things, where it's like working on yourself to know and have that faith and trust that you don't have to do anything for that individual, those people, to get their karma, right? It's like, even myself, I've experienced a lot of betrayal, a lot of hate, a lot of shame, a lot of different things, projections, I'll say, from multitude of people. And there's been times where I've just wanted to lash back. I've wanted to say something, and there's times that have, right? But there's also times where it's like, I've gotten to a certain point in my life to believe that, they're going to get their karma. I don't really have to do anything. I just pray for them, send them like some juju energy so it doesn't hit them so hard. But at the end of the day, Spirit's going to take care of it. Whatever you believe in, God, the angels, the demons. Because baby, I'm a demon slayer, okay? But that is part of the whole magic is real, okay? If you believe in spiritual warfare, that's considered magic. In my book, anyways. Magic, you can use it. It's depending on your intentions, right? That is the magical, evil, corrupt part of magic. You can be that magician, that bad magician, that magician that went rogue, or whatever you want to call it. But it's that kind of thing that we can look at with magic being real, and having a different perspective on it, instead of judging people for believing in, witchcraft, right? Because if you read up on your history books, baby, I mean, you don't even have to read up on your history books, okay? Let me just tell you that. Like, I know I've done a lot of research for myself, and sometimes, there we go. Sometimes you can't believe everything you read on the internet. You can't believe everything that people say on the internet, or in books. Like, that's a perspective of what they've seen, what they've experienced, yada, yada, yada. It's not saying it's not true, it's not factual, but it's more in a sense of saying, hey, this is my perspective, this is my experience. It's just like me sharing this video. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to, really understand anything I'm saying. It's just more of, knowing that I have this perspective of life, of perspective of magic, and how it's real for me. And it's really up to you with what you do with it. But that's the power within itself. It's up to you on what you do with it. If you've gotten this far in the video, if you continue to watch it, if you've already clicked off, it's that kind of thing where it's just like you create your own reality. You influence the magic within your life. You are attracted to certain things for a certain reason. So me, I've been attracted to a lot of different things, a lot of different religions, a lot of different spiritual practices, a lot of different theology, philosophy. I'm not really great with big words sometimes, but those kind of things where it's like the more intellectual mindset of how things work, like Albert Einstein and how he created the light bulb. Like, did he really create the light bulb, or was it somebody else and he just took credit of it, kind of thing? Or those conspiracy theories, it's intriguing. Like, for me, I went to school for criminal justice. I did military training. I also became a firefighter because I like that thrill of life. Now, did I necessarily do great in all those areas? I would say I did okay, because it's a thrill of mine. It's something that I really enjoy, but it's not something like for me, I wanted to go work at a prison. I wanted to become a private investigator. Now, did I do that? No. Did I try? Yes. But for me, it was more so, how can I do this without having to, for becoming a private investigator, you have to do security for about 2 years. I hated security. I literally hated it. And I don't know if it was just the job or just my mindset at that time, but I tried to work for different security things, but I learned a lot through that. But it was one thing that it was like, if I were able to start my own private investigation firm, I totally would do it, because I love investigating things. I love the criminal minds. I love, watching series and movies and stuff like that. I love more of the horror, the interesting dark stuff. But it's also because I've experienced a lot of dark things in my life. And so part of me understands that shadow aspect of myself. And I've also learned how to harness that, not necessarily, and also tame it, control it, to utilize it for good, right? Because some of us may not have really experienced dark things, horrific things in our life. So it's like we may be more afraid of it than anything because we've never experienced it. So it's like we don't really know how to necessarily transmute that, or even just speak to somebody that's gone through that thing. So for me, it's something that is just, it's more of a natural thing for me to be if somebody's gone through something very traumatic, knowing how to approach them, knowing certain things on what to say, and not always being perfect at what we say, because obviously certain things happen for a reason. We connect with certain people for a reason. It's doing our best to be there for those people. It's doing our best to show those people that there is beauty in the life. It's not always about darkness. But some people don't understand that for themselves, or don't know how to get out of that mindset, right? It takes time, it takes patience, it takes a lot of work. I say that because I'm one of those individuals that have, mentally, was surrounded in darkness, yet, around me, things were great. Nothing really horrific was happening. And that's what they kind of consider PTSD. So it's you've been through the traumatic event, but you're still going through it within your mind, right? You're still experiencing it. You're still having these symptoms. You're still, releasing that trauma from your body, because your body holds a lot of that trauma. So it's that kind of thing where you're almost still living it, but you're not really living it, right? You've already lived it, but you feel like you're still living it. But anywho, it's similar to that. And kind of like shifted off topic, but it all connects in some way or form, because it's like creating that magic within within that dynamic of that darkness. So some people feel there's no such thing as magic, or they may not believe truly in magic because they've been through so much darkness, to where they just focus on how the world's evil and after them and whatnot. But that's a part of that negative aspect of your intentions, of your energy, which connects to magic. And so yeah, it can get a little wild and crazy living in this world, living in a place of fear, living in a place of destruction, living in a place of nothing's ever gonna work out for me. When in reality, you really have to, shift that mindset, change your mindset, and ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Do I really want to change? Because it's up to you. It's up to you to create your magic, to shift it, to have those intentions behind it, to be like, you know what, I want my world to be a little bit more butterflies. A little bit more butterflies. Have a little bit more butterflies. I want my world to be more peaceful. I just want things to be a certain way. And knowing that, not everything's going to be perfect. Knowing that you can create this world for yourself, but still there's things that are going to be happening in that world, right? You look at certain movies, certain shows. It's like certain horror movies, right? I was watching this one movie, A Quiet Place, and it's like, happily ever after, the guy, gets to safety, yet, there's still something continuing. There's still chaos all around, yet he got to a certain point in his life, right? He got to a certain area, and I don't want to give anything away. If you haven't watched the new A Quiet Place, it's a really good movie. It's a really good show. Go check it out. I love it. But yeah, it's, there's still chaos. There's still evil in the world, right? There's still things happening. People are still dying, people are still experience hard times. And it's not cutting those things out. It's just acknowledging those that are still happening, but you don't want to allow that to affect your life. You want to continue to move forward in the best way you know how to. Tapping into that inner child, doing the things that you love, that bring you peace, that bring you happiness, that bring you joy, whatever that is for you. And understand that, if you have a roof over your head, if you're able to eat, if you're able to do certain things that certain other people aren't able to do, if you're alive today, baby, okay, it's being able to know that there is magic within that. That's so powerful. And you get to, move within that day, within that moment, to be able to create whatever you want to create. And just remind yourself, magic is real. Magic is beautiful. Magic is based on your beliefs, based on what you believe about yourself, what you believe about the world and your reality. Okay? Okay. Because baby, you are the magic and you create it. But with that, if you guys really like this video, please definitely, like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm starting to see my subscribers go up, and it's like super cool. And I'm super excited. So, welcome to my new subscribers. Thank you to my old subscribers. Thank you to those, who really truly support me and love my videos, and, want more content like this, want to see my face more, videos more. And if you haven't checked out any of my other content, I'm also on Instagram, TikTok. You want to check out my music, SoundCloud. I create music, music and magic that way as well too. But yeah, I also, have my own business through Amway. So if you're interested in, certain products like energy drinks, health products, different shakes, makeup, and stuff like that, I also have a link below. If you want to connect, collaborate, or whatnot, or get to, get more information about my Amway or my music as well, just email me, which is in the link tree description box below or in my profile section. But anywho, you know what it is. You have a great day, week, evening, morning, month, whatever, wherever the fuck you are. Yeah, you got this. I believe in you. Salute. OMG. OMG. So I almost forgot to mention as well, your DNA, right? The reason why I was talking about DNA and getting a DNA test, yada, yada, yada. Your DNA is your magic, baby. Your DNA is your magic, you know? Look at your ancestors. Look at the essence that you get from your ancestors, right? You know, you look back at generations, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, you know, those are your ancestors, right? And what they practiced, what they believed, and how it shifted the world, how it changed history, you know, the building structures that they built for us. You know, me, I'm very connected to ancient Egypt. I feel I lived in ancient Egypt in a past life, but I feel like we are our ancestors or as well, especially if you believe in reincarnation like myself. But it's that kind of thing within our DNA, you know, within our vessel. We radiate magic within, you know, the different connections, the different cultures within us, right? So it's like I said earlier, I'm mixed with Middle Eastern, I'm mixed with, you know, Colombian, Dominican, Caribbean. I'm also mixed with European, German. We all have a mixture of certain things within our bloodline, right? So it's like, it's really crucial for us to get a DNA test and see where we come from. Because if you look at history, in a sense, not everybody came from America. Not everybody is from Minnesota. Like, I say I'm from Minnesota because that's where I was born, but that's not where, like, my ancestors are from, right? That's not where initially I'm from. Like, yeah, I was birthed in a hospital in Minnesota, but this land, you know, it's been taken over multiple times. Oh, you know, I won't go into that dark history, but that also connects to the magic, right? To where people use it for evil or people use it for good. You know, it's that kind of thing, you know, that Native American history as well too. If you know, you know. So it's those different things within our culture, within our DNA, that really help connect us to the true magic within inside of ourselves, the true magic within inside of our ancestors, and what they, you know, created for us over time, over lifetimes, you know. And you know, and I also have a part of me that believes in, you know, otherworldly things. So like aliens, for instance, everybody's talking about it now. Do we know exactly everything? No. About aliens? Do I believe we have some kind of like connection to them? Yes. And obviously, you know, I haven't done a ton of research on that, but I do feel strongly and believe that there are other forms of life out into the universe. You know, I believe there is like a divine essence, right? A divine structure to all of this. There's a divine purpose to all of this. And I believe the aliens are included in it. And it's a beautiful thing because that's part of the magic too. That's part of the inner child, you know? You don't have to believe in that. You don't have to connect with that. But it's also just having fun with it, right? Whether you believe or not, because a lot of people do that. You know, they dress up as superheroes. They dress up as aliens every day. Those people probably, you know, hardcore believe in that. They may have been abducted by aliens because, you know, sometimes I do feel I was abducted or I was sent here by aliens, and that's why I feel like I'm an alien. Because for so long I felt like an alien, you know. I mean, I am a Heyoka empath, so there's that. But anywho, I won't go into any more of that. But the point is, we are all magic. We all have an essence that we can tap into to really harness the magic and create a beautiful world for ourselves, which connects to everybody else, which helps heal other people, which also helps bring world peace, right? It's like, who else is sent here to do the job, right? You know, you're sent here to do something. You know, find what you love. Find what you can create magic with to really, truly, you know, harness that beautiful, magical energy within yourself. Okay, now I'm done.